Yo, what's up? It's your boy AJ. As always on the case, going to try to bring you another one of those Prince thoughts as I like to do. And this one should be crazy, because I got my boy Cooke coming down today. He don't know nothing about none of these things that I be doing. But he was actually with me the very first time I saw Prince live. And he also was with me when we saw the Sign of the Times film release. So see if he can remember those things back in his mind. We're talking like 87, 88. So this is crazy. So he'll have no idea. This will be a good way to promo this and see if I can get him to remember, go back in time and reminisce with me. So we're going to talk about Prince and just see what's on his mind. Okay? Hey, stay tuned. The brother AJ doing what I like to do. It's a secret. Shh. Bye-bye. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. It's your boy, the brother AJ, back on the case with you. I got a special guest with me today. Have not seen my man since COVID. So if you look at the date, this is 2022. COVID hit in 2020.
Yeah, baby.
Yeah, I spoke to him during the time, but this is the first time me actually seeing him. And it's my pleasure to introduce to you. I like to call him my protege. I like to call him like my little brother, you know?
Yes.
He's been someone who I've just been so proud of the journey he's taken. What I really like about him more than anything is he's just really like a really good dude, you know? I don't think people really understand how good a dude he really is. So it's my pleasure to bring to you Mr. Cooke.
Sir, thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you for the accolades. I appreciate it. May I be worthy?
Yes, you will be. Because
right back at you.
This is in your wheelhouse, and I don't know if you know this, you know? I gotta hide the glasses. I took the wrong glass. Y'all don't read that one. Y'all seen my old glass before. So check this out. Kevin has no idea of what I like to do when I'm at the house chilling. And he is now going to be my guinea pig on this experiment.
Uh-oh.
So I'm going to take him back in time. And I'm going to say to you, we met many years ago.
Many.
We're talking decades.
Yeah, bro.
But we had some special experiences. So let me ask you this. October 1988 mean anything to you?
The Prince concert?
The Prince concert. Do you remember the Prince concert?
Of course, man. Legendary moment, man.
Listen.
Legendary moment.
The first time I ever saw Prince, it was me, my cousin Cradle, and this man right here. We drove out to the Nassau Coliseum,
Wow.
which is the home of the New York Islanders, and we saw Prince on his Love Sexxxy tour.
Yeah.
Now you folks have heard my perspective. Now I got another witness in the room with me. So let me set this up for you. First off, what's your level of appreciation for Prince? Can you tell the folks how you feel about Prince?
I'll put it this way. I was listening to a podcast with Questlove, who is a Prince aficionado, and you know he's a world-class musician, leader of the legendary Roots crew, and he had Prince's engineer on there. What was the woman's name?
Susan Rogers.
Right. Who's ironically now I think an acoustical psychologist.
Yes, she is.
And a fascinating interview. Now, I got emotional listening to her stories as she talked about the experience. And I was just riveted as she spoke about, from her now mind as a professor of psychology and analyzing her experiences musically working with a legend like Prince. So yeah, that's the depth of my appreciation, because I want to continue learning about him, because he was just such a Renaissance guy and a complete and total genius, and he has so many incredible effects on so many different people. And even now, I was just listening to the new remixed and redigitized tracks that were released, and man, that was just so beautiful and so dope. And just one of my favorite albums by him is Parade. And just the quality of the mixing, the richness of the music, it doesn't really compare to too many other artists besides like maybe Stevie Wonder or like some of the Michael Jackson tracks, because Quincy Jones is a brilliant individual right there. But yeah, Prince is just, he's all of that And then son, and to see him live was just mind blowing.
All right, so we're going to stop you there.
Okay.
Because that was that experience we shared. But we have to go back the year before that. Because I don't know if you remember this.
Oh, the movie.
The year before, Sign of the Times was dropped.
Yeah.
And what happened on that event?
Well, we tore it up.
Where were we?
Yeah, we're rocking the movie theater. Me and you in the back, turning the whole place
It
up.
fell on.
Yep.
We went to this movie theater. They released Sign of the Times as a movie.
Yep.
I said, yo, Cooke, we got to go check this movie out.
Yep.
We went to this PG kind of white town, if you will.
Oh, yeah.
Two brothers went in there. Turned that place out.
Never the same, baby.
Them folks thought they went to a movie. By the time we was done with them, they was at a concert.
Yes.
We jumped up, we was singing all the songs. Because
Yep.
we had the album. So he had already learned all the songs. So by the time we got to that movie theater, we turned that place out, didn't we? You remember that?
Legendary, baby. Legendary. Come on.
You remember that?
Yes.
I thought you forgot.
No. No way. My best moments, man. Come on.
I just remember when Sign of the Times hit. I remember Housequake hitting. I was like, oh my God. I look at these people like, they don't know. They don't know. Like, this is Prince. Y'all don't. Come on. We amped that whole theater up.
Listening to like the new remixed albums, things I thought about is listening to the music with you.
Yes.
Because nobody really understands the music the way certain people like yourself, who's a music aficionado, and you also have that rare, unique ability where you can take something that's really complex and break it down really simple, and also have reference points the person you're talking to can understand.
I try,
That's
man.
one of the things I appreciate about you.
Well, thank you,
So,
because I try. Sometimes I think a lot of musicians, and definitely engineers, they talk up here, and they don't know their audience. And if you want somebody to learn why you love somebody, you got to come down, and you got to bring them up so that you can meet. Then we can all grow together. That's the way I try to talk.
Will Smith has an expression that he would use in his group. You call it mayonnaise level. Anything
Yes.
more complex than mayonnaise, you're doing too much.
You're doing too much.
Keep it simple, mayonnaise.
All right, and you just made me remember, because we had talked a little bit, and I was telling you a story about the Will Smith book, and I forgot. So I'm going to have to write it down so that when we get off this video, I can tell you what I was going to tell you. All right?
All right.
So now, I had to go back so that we can go forward. So Sign of the Times was dropped in 1987.
Wow.
And we saw that movie that Prince released. Remember, he had released Purple Rain. Everybody lost their mind on Purple Rain, okay? Then he released Under the Cherry Moon. And people, they didn't know what happened to him. They just...
Shout out to the 80s.
they fell off.
Dope, man.
And so Prince knew he needed to come back hard, and he came back with Sign of the Times, and that was amazing. And then the following year, he dropped the Love Sexxy record, which was basically his 10-year anniversary. He got in the game in 1978. He released this album in 1988. It was the 10-year, renaissance, if you will. That's the one where he was on the cover on that lotus sleeve with naked. They said they airbrushed him out, and they was hiding his little jewels so nobody could see it, But that album was an album that hardcore fans stayed with him. The popular fans fell off because they wanted to hear the hits. And as you said about Around the World in a Day,
oh yeah,
okay,
classic.
And Parade, those albums are more experimental. So if you're looking just for the pop hits, you can't hang with him. And the Love Sexxy had a couple joints on it, but it still was in that experimental vein. And we had the pleasure of going to see that tour. And the smash off of that tour was Alphabet Street. And do you remember how they came out when the concert opened?
No.
You don't remember?
No.
It came, and he opened the show with Alphabet Street. We heard all that rumble, all the noise. Then all of a sudden, you hear the car, and here comes that white T-Bird. It was like the way an amusement car would be. It wasn't like they was driving the car. Remember, he's on it. Sheila E. was driving. He was on the roof with Cat.
Oh,
and he came out, and it was kind of, you heard all the sound, and
yeah.
they came out the car parked, and he jumped out the car. The groove was kind of going in the back, because it was the computer drums, because they weren't playing live yet.
Yeah.
Then Sheila sat down in the drums.
The car was like on a hydraulic, like mechanical.
Because it was going sideways and stuff.
Yeah.
And all the smoke and everything.
Yeah.
Then when they got out the car, Sheila got at the drums, and Prince did that. And they hit that groove, and that's how the show started. Right there, I was sold, bro.
Yes, baby.
I was like,
yeah,
I looked at my boys, I was like,
yeah, yeah.
How about this one? You remember the basketball court?
Basketball court. Oh, I think he was playing basketball with Cat.
Yes,
right?
he
was.
Okay,
right. Yeah.
Remember, he blocked her shot and we booed him.
Oh, yeah.
How you gonna block the woman shot?
Wow.
Yeah, wait. This the best part. When you hear that story about Charlie Murphy and Eddie Murphy and him, with Prince balling in high heel shoes, yo, don't get it twisted. Prince had a half court set up on the stage, off on the side, with the lines like you have on a basketball court. The band is over there burning. And he just like nonchalantly walks off while the band is cooking, tells Cat, come on, picks the ball up, they start hooping.
Wow, yeah.
Hooping, the show is going on.
About that.
It's almost like going to a fight and a hockey game break out, you know what I'm saying? But they start hooping, Cat comes in, and Prince blocks her shot. The whole crowd booed him for blocking it. He gave us that. Hey, like he said about Sheila. She's an eye for a girl when he did the solo in the Sign of the Times movie, right?
Yeah.
So, he's being funny. Prince loved his women because he was a great man when it came to the women and the opportunities that he presented for them. But he had the basketball court, he had the car came out, he had the killer record at that time, and then he had his catalog of hits that he performed. And the one thing I don't remember, Cooke, is I don't remember the arena. Like, I was so into the show. Like, I don't remember nothing that was going on around me in the arena.
That was the performance in the round, right?
Let me see. No, not that one, because he came out the back. Because, it was a traditional stage setup, like the horseshoe. Because they had the backstage. They might have had people on the backside that couldn't see from the front, but it wasn't like the round where you got all sides. Yes, Madison Square Garden and the Prue Center, Izod. He did it because he had the symbol logo and he played all the way around.
Well, another important point is that not only could Prince make these incredible records, mind you, a lot of times he'd be in the studio by himself, recording them, these incredible sound concepts, but he could pull it off live.
Yes.
With a whole band, or just come out there dolo with the guitar, acoustic, and crush it.
Oh God! Now you just triggered another memory. Okay, you remember he had, because at that time he used to wear the little heart, the reflection in the hearts every time the light hit it. There was a heart on the floor, and all of a sudden, do you remember? The band went off, like they did the intermission, and all of a sudden, out of the floor, out of that heart-shaped floor, here comes Prince up with the piano, and he did a solo piano set for us.
Right.
He didn't do long, probably about 5, 6 songs that he played.
He went kind of high.
And he went way up in the air. Remember? Yes.
Yeah,
man. Yeah.
The spotlights on him. I was like, yo, this guy is...
Do you hear us? This show was in 1988. That's over 30 years ago. Listen to how we're talking about this.
Because it was pure brilliance.
Okay?
I was a genius at his high point, crushing it. Absolutely crushing it. Making great records, performing live, making videos, doing everything at the highest possible level. Trailblazer.
Yeah, man. And
Rest in peace, Prince.
And we got to see him do this at a level that, I will say for me, so when everybody jumped on Michael Jackson, I turned to Prince. I discovered Prince in '79 on his second album. I went back, got his first album, and I was riding with Prince all the way through. And when I saw Prince live, I loved Prince up to that point. And when I saw him live, that was it for me. After that, he was my, look around here. He was my dude forever. Because when you see him live, you really get to see someone at the peak of their game, at the peak of their powers, that whatever his mind wanted to do, he could execute and get the people around him. Like a good player, he could elevate those around him. And still, you could tell he was a star, but he knew how to be a team player. Otherwise, it'd be him on stage with a bunch of black boxers playing with him.
But hold on, you took a step further. You went to Paisley Park, right?
Yes, I did.
Let's talk about that.
So that was my sabbatical in 2019. I left the whole family home. It was something I had to do for myself. And I swear to God, I tell this story. First off, my hotel, I had a corner room, and I looked down, across the street was First Avenue. So I got to look out my window every day and see First Avenue.
Legendary Club from the movie.
Yes.
Purple Rain, right?
So that was already, that already had me amped.
You went inside?
Yeah, I saw a show there.
Oh, wow.
I saw a country show there.
You got pictures too, right?
Yes, I did. And when I went there, I had on a Prince shirt, I had my Prince socks on, my Prince hat, and there was a cool white security guard there, a little tiny dude. He wasn't going to stop shit. Something jumped off, he's getting his ass beat. But shout out to my boy. And there was a black girl in the ticket booth. And the two of them kind of looked at me, and they were like, this brother man at the wrong show. Okay? So when I explained to him I'm from Jersey and I was on my way to Paisley Park the next day, they was like, whoa, wait a minute. Then you ain't seeing the real First Avenue. You have this little room downstairs we were in, but the room that they shot the movie in was upstairs. So they called the manager, Diane. She came down after a little while, and she took me upstairs, and I got a private tour of First Avenue. And I say private, but when I got up there was a dude up there. This white dude was walking around, so we kind of saw each other. We're like, yo, he was the drummer for the next band. The first band was the opener. He was the headliner. And when he saw him, we saw each other. We exchanged cameras, our phones, so we could take each other's pictures, so we could have our own pictures that we could have for ourselves.
Oh, that's dope.
And I forever thank the security guard, I thank the sister, and I thank the manager, Diane. That's what they did for me. So that made the experience crazy, and then the next day I went out to see Paisley Park, and that was it. That was it. When you walk into Paisley Park, for my religious folks out there, when you walk into that spiritual place where you go to get your spiritual healing, that's what Paisley Park was for me. I felt like I walked through the doors of a cathedral. I swear to you, you know, my hand is up. Every time you turn the corner, you swore that Prince was going to turn the corner and come walk right to you. You felt his presence in that building so heavy. Not on some, ooh, spiritual ghouly shit. I'm talking about on some real life. Just like he's sitting here next to me, you swore Prince was going to come around the corner because every single place in that building had his fingerprints all over it. That, for me, matter of fact, I got my Paisley Park shirt on right now. I got this shirt there. And for me, I would say anybody who's a Prince fan, if you want to do yourself a favor, go see Prince's Paisley Park. If you haven't seen the man, if you love the man, it'll give you a chance to feel and get that aura inside of you.
So the energy was crazy.
Yeah, man. Even to this day, the Doves was up there singing. He got the Doves up in the cage up there. You're cooing. It's bananas.
So what stands out in your mind in that experience?
The thing that stands out in my mind is the recording studio. When you go into it, he has 3 studios, Studio A, B, C, and he has a small Studio D where they did some other stuff in, but it was like a little small place. And I actually got to record in his studio.
What?
They let you sing a 30-second clip. They had like 10 of his songs, and of course, his birthday's June 7th, my birthday's December 7th, so I took the song 7, and I got to sing, and it was a group of about 25, 30 of us.
Insane.
And yeah, we had women in the group and stuff, and when that guy said, you know, I was a part of the VIP package, so that was a part of my gift. Let me tell you something. When he said, all right, we're going to go into this. Who wants to go first? I jumped the line.
Of course.
I cut everybody. I was the first one to go in there and lay my vocals down. I did take it and post it on YouTube, but because the Prince estate is so hardcore, they snatched that. You don't hear the audio, but I'll play it for you so you can hear me singing.
What was the song?
7. All 7 and we'll watch them fall.
Oh, man.
We stand in the name of we will. Yeah, man. So, and the engineer, he was like, he looked at me, he's like, I know this dude's a musician, because he said, I was like, he got to teach you, okay, here you gonna hear this, put in your headphones. You know, I'm like, yeah, I record. So he's like, okay, so let's do a practice run. I did the practice run, he was like, that's it. He said, you got it.
I haven't seen those pictures, so I definitely want to see those pictures, man.
Okay.
So what else stood out from that experience?
Just the building itself. The fact that, I always tell people, a lot of your artists, why do they check out early? And Prince and Michael did check out early.
Yeah.
But most of the time it's because of the excess and the abuses of their lives. And what Prince did is he took his money and he said, the thing I love to do is I love to make music, I'm a fashion icon, and I'm getting into this movie thing. So he was able to put all of that under one roof, and he built his own playland. I believe they said it was about $10 million when he built Paisley Park, but the return on his investment had just returned over and over and over. Now he didn't have to go to the studios. He could do it any hour, day and night. He had his own. He had a sound stage. When you see Sign of the Times,
that's right.
Clips were shot there. He could shoot movies there because he had a big room. The room had to be 10,000 square feet. It was crazy.
Before a lot of other artists were doing that too.
Yes. So the fact that you get to see and the whole design of the place, like it wasn't static. It was this. you could feel it's almost like a living document. You could just feel it the way it was. So the fact that he had the wherewithal to do that, so he could do his own thing by himself without having to deal with record labels and all the stuff that
right.
you got to deal with, he just beat out the middleman. He did it all for himself.
No longer a slave.
And he had a little club in there called the MPG Club. You could get about maybe 200 to 300 people could go in there. He had a little stage there. It looked like a cool little lounge. So when he would do little after party stuff, he would do it there. When he did the big events, he would throw it in the main room. The recording studios, fantastic. Oh, one thing that was impressive, when you go into the recording studio, they had his pianos in there. He had a white piano,
wow.
And Yamaha had just sent him a brand new purple piano. And he really didn't even get a chance to play it because he died before he really got a chance to use it the way he was going to use it. I believe they sent that to him in 2016. So they had it there set up and all preserved, ready to go. So, matter of fact, you can see, that's the picture I took. That's me standing in the studio. That's the piano behind me.
Oh, that's you in the studio.
That's me in studio, I believe that's Studio A in Paisley Park.
Oh, wow.
And that's the picture when he was with Third Eye Girl.
That is insane, man.
The other two girls are around there. One is on the left and one is on the right. But of course, you want your picture taken with Prince. They took all your phones and all that. Well, they let you keep it, but you couldn't take no pictures or nothing. So this is the only official picture I got from Paisley Park.
And that's a dope picture, man.
Yeah, man. So that's how I look. That's what I look like when matter of fact, I'm wrong. I went to First Avenue that same night because that's the same stuff I had on. So that was the same night I went to First Avenue.
You got souvenirs too?
Charms and stuff like that, you know, a couple of like this thing here, the tambourine I got there.
Oh, that's, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, that's crazy, man.
So, listen, and this is how you know how crazy Prince was. If you go to the airport, there is a Prince store in the Minneapolis airport.
As there should be.
What other artist has their own store in your airport? Prince. My boy.
They should name a gate after him.
So you flipped it to me, let me flip it to you. So as we wrap this up, what would you like to say about Prince's legacy and what he means to you?
I think one of the credible things about him is that the depth of his genius is as such. You could study it for so long and still keep learning. You could study it continuously and still learn new things. And the effect that he had on different artists, his incredible work ethic, the ironic thing about his overdosing supposedly on painkillers because he had pain in his hips from wearing those high-heeled shoes for so many years, and where the story goes. I remember, who was it? Charlie Mack, Will Smith's partner in crime, had talked about going to Prince's house, and he was walking with a cane.
Yeah.
And there was a point that he refused to be photographed because he's walking with a cane. He couldn't walk well. And I can understand the whole thing with painkillers because I had major back surgery.
Yeah, no joke.
And they put me on those opioids, the Oxycontin stuff.
Oxy, Percocet, all that. Yeah, man.
Powerful, powerful. I remember praying when I was taking it, please let me become addicted.
But what's the difference? It's when you're in pain and there's a drug that alleviates the pain, so do I walk around and be hurt all the time? Do I take the drug? That's a hard choice, especially when you're in that kind of pain. That's why everybody out for the drug.
You know, I was so afraid about being a black drug addict and becoming a stereotype. I made a plan in my head when I was still in the hospital that I was going to get off that stuff as quickly as possible, that I was going to wean myself off so that I would wait till I was in the most extreme intolerable pain before I would take it, and then I would wait again so I would keep moving the timeline further and further when I would need it and become stronger and stronger. So I learned to heal myself. I just say that to say that it's unfortunate that he couldn't manage it, but it's also, well, I got to make a comment about the hypocrisy of Big Pharma, because they knew how powerful this drug was. They knew the effect it was going to have on people, yet they put it out there, made billions of dollars, and paid like a mere drop in the bucket in fines. So, fuck them. So
money talk, bro.
Right. I wish Prince was here. I think he's one of the artists that we need. I think more artists need to study him for his skills, again, his work ethic. So many people came through him. to have prolific careers as well, who were inspired by him. He wrote for so many different artists. He could write in so many. He's like a multi-dimensional genius, in my opinion, because he's directing videos. He was doing choreography, composition, all the different instruments he could play. Not just in the studio, but again to do it live, which a lot of artists cannot do. So I'm sorry he's gone. We miss him, and his legacy is worth studying to comprehend it and make us better.
Well, I just want to tell you, man, you don't know what a pleasure this is for me, because I do these by myself, and it is so great to tell the story and now have people hear the other half of the story so they can fact check me to see if what I'm saying is true. Because when I spoke to you about the whole first time I saw Prince, now you have my witness that was with me. So I hope you folks enjoyed two brothers just talking about an icon that we loved and what he did to us and how he impacted us.
One other thing we're going to talk about.
Please, go ahead.
Morris Day.
Go ahead.
Do you feel that Prince mistreated Morris Day?
Well, don't go by what you're hearing currently now, that they won't let them use the name of Morris Day and the Tyme. But what I would say to you is this, is Prince put a lot of people on. And there's something that happens when you start to ascend and those around you don't keep up at the same level that you do. And first off, you don't have the talent that this other person has. And so it is, we've seen it over and over with the master and the protege. None of the proteges get treated well. They all have to find their own way. So I do believe in my heart of heart that Prince and Morris Day were boys. They kind of did good. Prince did them dirty when they did the Condensate album, and he wouldn't let them use the name The Tyme. They had to do that album, and they called themselves the Original Seven. It was nothing but a Tyme record, but Prince would not let them use the name The Tyme. So there is a little precedent for what's going on now with the estate, telling Morris he can't use the name, but for all intents and purposes, it's Morris Day and The Tyme. Morris owes a huge debt of his career to Prince, so I don't think Morris is bitter with Prince. I think he's bitter with the people around Prince, and I think Morris is a big boy. He knows how the business goes. Same way some of the brothers in The Tyme ain't happy with Morris, because when Morris Day goes out with The Tyme, you look at the guys on stage with him. Terry ain't there, Jimmy ain't there, you know, it ain't the guys that are with him. So it is the tradition that goes on in the music business if you don't handle the business well up front.
Well said. Well said. It's been a privilege, man. We gotta do this again. A lot of fun. I'm excited. I'm happy everybody made it through COVID. You know, I love you. I love your family.
Thank you.
I love this conversation. I love doing this. I can't wait to do it again.
All right. Well, this was AJ, the brother AJ, coming at you hardcore with another Prince talk. Thanks again, folks.
This is Kev. Peace.
Bye-bye.